the tribe of MicKuSAy. Let's talk about it. Hey, ScouterStan. Let's talk about the tribe of MicKuSAy. There's a lot of scouting history out there, and it kind of, the Indian lore and the honor society and all that stuff has very early roots in scouting. Now, honor societies have been around for a very, very long time. When an organization, especially a youth organization where you have adults and youth, you have these things starting up, you need to have an honor society. And many of these early on honor societies had really two major goals. The first one was they needed to have some kind of support for the scout camp. Now, the services to the scout camp was part of everything that went on with that honor society. The second thing was to reinforce the scout oath and scout law in leadership skills. These organizations of honor societies really try to put that together. Now, the early days of scouting, in the history of scouting, and by the way, I did a history video, so check that out. Ernest Seaton was big in the organization known as Woodcraft Indians. And that was like, I think it was 1901 to like 1903, somewhere in that range. So it was very early, the early years of scouting. And because of that, it was based on the Indian lore that he was familiar with. He wrote books about it, the birchback rolls and all that stuff. So it is intense history, and it had an influence towards honor societies. There's a wonderful thing about the Indian lore of all the tribes of America, and that's the one thing about a lot of the native tribes. There's honor, and that's something we as Americans try to emulate. We try to keep that honor. That is something that we need to keep. So as an honor society, a lot of the early years, scouting kind of went that direction. Now, before we go too far, I want to make sure that you are invited to be at our meeting, our live meeting. It's the first Sunday of each month, and the next one coming up is March 5th. So you are personally invited to participate in that meeting. We get started right around 9 p.m. and we answer questions, and I kind of give a review of all the shows that have been aired and what's going on. So it's a great way to just start the week. Also want to personally thank all of the patrons on Patreon. They are continuing to support financially this channel. In addition to that, we also have channel memberships. You can hit the join button and get more information about joining our channel here on YouTube. There's a lot of benefits. You get an additional video every week. You also get badges and get little icons and all kinds of really neat stuff all through YouTube. So think about both of those. If you don't want to do the monthly thing with Patreon or joining the YouTube channel, you could always just do a quick donation with the little heart button. So that's and it's a one-time thing. So everything helps, okay? So thank you so much for your continued support. Now let's get back to it. Now in 1915, that's when the Order of the Arrow first started. It was through the camp around Treasure Island, and we've done a video on that. So if you would like more information about the origins of the OA, feel free. We have a video on that. So we have videos on a lot of stuff. But MicKuSAy, the tribe of MicKuSAy, really started in 1925, and that was at Camp Brinton of the Pony Express Council in Missouri. In 1929, Heart of America Council in Kansas City also had the tribe of MicKuSay. This program still exists even today. Legendary Scout executive Harold Bridle was actually credited with getting the whole thing started. In 1944, the tribe of MicKuSay was established in the Coronado Area Council in Kansas. It was named the Order of the Red Arrow. In 1949, that became Order of the Arrow Lodge 434. In 1954, the tribe of MicKuSay existed in the Western Colorado Council. In 1959, it was converted to the MicKooSAy Lodge 541 of the Order of the Arrow. In 1989, a MicKooSAy organization through the Coronado Area Council in Kansas started an organization that was renamed the Golden Eagles. And as you can see, there's a lot of history there. I am not a member of MicKooSAy, of the tribe of MicKooSAy, and I honor that, okay? It would be best if somebody that was a member of that talked about it specifically. I'm only a member of the Order of the Arrow, which predates a lot of this, okay? But it's different. It does not have the sash. It does not, there are, the ones that have moved into the Order of the Arrow have flaps. But MicKooSAy is one of those things, it's scouting, but it's an honor society. It's part of scouting in those areas. It is a wonderful thing. I think that's a great thing to have. Okay, so it is, and it's true with the Order of the Arrow, and it's true with MicKooSAy, and it's true with all of that. But when you're dealing with the different areas, this is the thing. Scouting never does away with anything. If it existed and it's working, it's there. Okay. That's the nice thing. It just continues on, and it's a tradition. These are traditions that have been around for generations. So definitely look into it. There's a lot of information out there. That's just, I'm just going over the history of it. I hope that answers most of that question, but you know, it's one of those things that it can be very involved as far as the answers to a lot of this stuff. So, but as an adult leader, we need to recognize this, and we need to kind of encourage it, okay, so that future generations can enjoy it and find tremendous meaning from it. Scouting is based on that Scout Oath and Scout Law, and we as Scout leaders need to keep that going. That needs to be a cohesive thing. That is really important for us as Scout leaders and as youth. It's very important. And you do so much work, and I'm so proud of what you do. I hear about all these things going on all over the place. It's wonderful. We are really changing America for the better. We are creating great leaders. We need to keep that up. So until next time, I will see you on the trail.